Good morning, guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's Mark with Red Star Loft, as you know, and we were gonna fly today, do some loft flying, but as you can hear and see, the rain is coming down, and it's supposed to be coming down all day, so we're just gonna go ahead and keep the birds in and yeah, move those plans on to tomorrow. But yeah, it just started raining 10 minutes ago and looks like it's going to be like this for the vast majority of the day. So yeah, in terms of flying, it's bad news, but in terms of everything else, it is good news. Let me actually run over and show you guys before it really starts coming down. But we are more or less back to business as usual. A lot of them are in the aviary, but when I last spoke with you guys, I can't remember off the top of my head. I think I had 29 birds, something like that. 29, 30 birds. Hard to tell off the top of my head. I should have watched the previous video. But right now we're at 48. 48 birds total. So vast majority of the birds are back. That means I'm only missing 5 or 6 birds, which is outstanding. I was sure my losses were going to be at least in a double, in the double digits, at least a dozen birds we're going to be missing. But yeah, we've got about 5 roughly. I hope the noise of the rain isn't too annoying for this video, but that's where we got caught. But I'll give them some feed, both them and the breeders, because yeah, now it's really coming down. Let me feed the breeders first, because they're definitely hungry, and then I'll feed these guys. Go. Wooden eggs are working great. Occasionally they'll lay their real eggs, but it's a few and far in between. You can see down there's 4 eggs. That's her first round of real eggs since, from the past month and a half, so you can see they're doing well. They are doing well as usual. But yeah, my young birds have bounced back. I've had them trickling in. Even yesterday one came in. I didn't really expect any yesterday, but I guess they come for days after a toss like that. But yesterday the last one came back. And they've been coming in groups between 1 and 4 birds, more or less. I'm really glad to see that he made it back. He came back that same day that I made the video, Tuesday I think it was. He came back later that evening, and yeah, you guys can see. They are back and they're doing relatively well. I've been getting them, nice and fed, giving them fresh water, apple cider vinegar, garlic, multivitamins, just, mostly some natural stuff, and, the multivitamin is basically all I give my birds. I've cut out everything else. So, I do have a few birds. Let me try and point them out. I'm not sure if they're in the aviary or not. This one right here, if you pay attention, doesn't have a racing band. And then this one right here does not have a racing band either. Or the racing chip, I should say. And there's, at the very least, one more that I'm aware of. Let me see if he's here. He's out in the aviary. So I have a minimum of 3 birds that came back without a racing band, which heavily leads me to believe that somebody, because I know they didn't just fall off. There's no way they could have just fallen off. Once they snap into place, they will not just come off. So it leads me to believe that some birds did end up going into somebody else's loft, and that they went ahead and they grabbed those chips off of them. So it is what it is. It's a shitty thing to do, but people have done far shittier. So he is supposed to have a racing band as well. This black one right here. And as you can see, he only has his AU band. So he's not supposed to have one. But yeah, as you guys can see, like I said, the birds are back. I am super thrilled with how many ended up coming back. We'll give them their feed. They shouldn't be super hungry. I've kept them relatively full over the past 3 or 4 days. We'll see. They're not hungry. So now they're getting me wet because they've been soaking up that rain out there. But here we have them, guys. I could not be happier with the outcome. To release the birds at 105 miles and to, you know, after 7 hours get 12 birds back. I was not too optimistic. I knew more would come back, but didn't know how many, and definitely did not expect almost 50 to come back out of 54, 55, however many. So absolutely thrilled about that. And now we just gave him a few days, nice and rested. Like I said, it sucks that we couldn't loft fly today, but that's okay. We'll make up for it, and then we'll see either tomorrow or Sunday, one of these days. I'm going to take them out to 20-25 miles roughly, just to kind of gauge how they do, to make sure they got their confidence and they're still flying well and flying together. And then after that, I'm going to take them back to, you know, 30, 40, 50, and probably, you know, hang up the hat around 50 miles so far. We do have a combined toss. The club is doing a toss a week before the first race, and that's going to be a 100-mile toss, just a training toss. You can or don't have to send your birds to it. I probably will, depending on how they do at that point, but I plan on sending them there. But yeah, I'll just keep in between. Basically 30 and 50 miles is where I'll train them for the next few weeks, just to make sure that they've got their conditioning down and they have that route memorized, and they don't have any problems knowing roughly where to separate from the other birds, which you never know how they're going to do until that time comes. So, but as I've said, as of now, everything has worked out nicely. The only one that I can see, I still haven't gone through the bands and checked who's here, who's not here, so I can't tell off the top of my head. But I definitely know the yellow hen is one of the missing birds, and there is one blue bar that I know for sure, and one red bar that I know for sure are missing. My silvers here, but yeah, as I said, the yellow hen's gone, which I didn't have, you know, really high expectations for to begin with. I mean, you never know, but I simply didn't. And yeah, the solid red has been missing since before then, and that sibling to this one, the white one with a couple of brown spots, she's been missing since before then. So those are old news, but everybody else is here, looks to be healthy, and has mostly bounced back. So that's it. That's the update for you guys. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Hope you have a good weekend, and I'll catch up with you probably next week.